hold a nickel up to the light right now? Go ahead, I'll wait. That ordinary 5-cent piece in your hand might contain actual silver, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that some of these war-era nickels have sold for amounts that would shock you. We're talking about coins that could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. And the crazy part is that millions of Americans have no idea they're sitting on this hidden treasure. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you a simple test that takes less than 10 seconds to identify these silver nickels. And trust me, once you learn this trick, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. Here's the story most people don't know. During World War II, the United States faced a critical shortage of nickel, a metal desperately needed for armor plating, artillery, and other military equipment. The government had a problem. They needed nickel for the war effort, but they also needed to keep producing 5-cent coins for the economy. Someone had a brilliant idea. What if we temporarily changed what nickels were made of? And that's exactly what happened. From mid-1942 through 1945, the U.S. Mint produced special wartime nickels with a completely different composition. Instead of the standard copper-nickel alloy, these coins were made from 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. Yes, you heard that right, 35% silver. That means each war nickel contains approximately 0.05626 ounces of pure silver. Now, with silver prices fluctuating in the market, that silver content alone gives these coins an intrinsic melt value well above 5 cents. But for collectors, especially those in pristine condition or with rare varieties, we're talking about values that soar into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, how do you identify these silver war nickels without any special equipment? This is where it gets really exciting because there's a dead simple visual test that works every single time. The Mint knew these wartime nickels were different, and they wanted everyone to be able to tell them apart from regular nickels. So they did something they'd never done before and haven't done since. They moved the mint mark to a giant, obvious location on the back of the coin. Flip any nickel over and look above Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's home depicted on the reverse. On regular nickels from before 1942 and after 1945, you'll find a small mint mark tucked to the side of the building, or sometimes no mint mark at all if it came from Philadelphia. But on war nickels, there's a large mint mark right above the dome of Monticello. Impossible to miss. And here's the kicker, this mint mark is huge compared to normal, and it always includes one of 3 letters, P, D, or S. The P stands for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. But what makes the P particularly special is that this was the very first time in U.S. history that the Philadelphia Mint put a mint mark on any coin. They broke a tradition that had lasted over a century and a half, all because these war nickels were so different that they needed to be clearly identifiable. So if you see a large mint mark above Monticello on the back of a nickel, congratulations, you've just found a war nickel containing real silver. Let me give you the exact years and mint marks to look for. In 1942, the transition happened midway through the year, so you'll find both regular copper-nickel coins and Silver War nickels dated 1942. The silver ones will have that large mint mark above Monticello. Then for 1943, 1944, and 1945, every single nickel produced was a Silver War nickel, regardless of which mint made it. After the war ended, production of these special composition nickels stopped, and by 1946, the mint returned to the standard copper-nickel formula we know today. Now, let's talk value, because this is where things get really interesting. At minimum, a war nickel is worth its silver content, which fluctuates with the precious metals market. When I'm recording this, that puts the melt value somewhere around $1 to $2 per coin, already 20 to 40 times face value. But that's just the baseline. Collectors will pay significantly more for war nickels in better condition, and for certain rare varieties, the sky's the limit. A common war nickel in circulated condition typically sells for anywhere from $2 to $5 depending on current silver prices and collector demand. But start moving up in grade and watch what happens. An uncirculated war nickel might fetch $10 to $20. Move into gem uncirculated territory, those coins graded MS-66 or higher by professional services, and you're looking at $50 to several $100s. The finest known examples, those virtually perfect MS-68 specimens, have sold at auction for thousands of dollars. I'm not making this up. A single 1943 P nickel in MS-68 condition sold for over $10,000. One nickel. $10,000. There are also fascinating error varieties that collectors hunt obsessively. Double dies, where the design was stamped twice creating visible doubling on letters or dates. Off-center strikes where the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting. Re-punched mint marks where the letter was stamped multiple times in slightly different positions. Each of these errors can dramatically increase value depending on how dramatic and visible the mistake is. But here's what makes worn nickels truly accessible to beginning collectors and treasure hunters. Unlike many rare coins that are nearly impossible to find in circulation, worn nickels still turn up with surprising regularity. They're in old coin jars, forgotten piggy banks, estate sales, and yes, occasionally still in active circulation. I personally know collectors who found them in rolls from the bank, in the change tray of their car, and mixed in with loose change from yard sales. These coins are out there, and now you know exactly how to spot them. The magnet test is another fun way to verify you've got a war nickel. Regular copper nickel coins are not magnetic and won't stick to a magnet. But because worn nickels contain manganese, they'll show a slight attraction to a strong magnet. It's not a super strong pull like you'd get with steel, but there's definitely a response. However, I should mention that you don't really need the magnet test if you've already spotted that large mint mark above Monticello. The visual identification is foolproof. Some people ask whether they should sell worn nickels for their silver content or hold on to them for their numismatic value. That's a personal decision, but here's my take. Common date or nickels in worn condition are probably worth about the same either way. So if you need the cash, selling for melt value is fine. But if you've got coins in nice condition, uncirculated examples, or anything that looks unusual, you should absolutely have them looked at by a knowledgeable dealer or consider professional grading. You might be sitting on something far more valuable than the silver content alone. The historical significance of these coins adds another layer of appeal. Every worn nickel represents a moment in American history when the entire nation mobilized for a common cause. People saved scrap metal, rationed food, and bought war bonds. The mint changed the composition of coins to support the troops. These nickels are tangible artifacts from that era, small pieces of World War II history you can hold in your hand. That resonance with history makes them meaningful beyond just their monetary value. If you're going to start searching for war nickels, here's my advice. Check every nickel that passes through your hands. Look at the change you get from stores. Ask your bank if they have any customer-wrapped nickel rolls, as these sometimes contain older coins. Visit estate sales, especially ones featuring belongings of elderly individuals who might have saved coins during or shortly after the war. Join local coin clubs, where members often have duplicates they're willing to trade or sell reasonably. And most importantly, learn to identify these coins instantly so you never accidentally spend one at face value. The beauty of war nickels is that they combine accessibility, history, and genuine value in one neat package. You don't need to be a millionaire to start collecting them. You don't need decades of expertise to identify them. You just need to know that simple visual test. Look for the large mint mark above Monticello on the back. That's it. That's the secret that could help you find real silver hiding in plain sight. Imagine going through a jar of old coins and finding 10, 20, maybe even 50 war nickels. At just a few dollars each minimum, that's real money for something that might have been sitting forgotten in a closet. And if you happen to find one in exceptional condition or with a rare error, well, that's when things get truly exciting. The possibility is real and it's out there waiting for anyone willing to look. So grab those nickels, flip them over, and check above Monticello. If you see that large mint mark, congratulations, you've just discovered a piece of World War II history made with real silver. And who knows, it might be worth far more than you ever imagined. If this video helped you understand war nickels and you're excited to start hunting for silver in your pocket change, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future treasure hunting tips. Give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new, and please share it with friends and family who might have old coins tucked away. You could help someone discover hidden value they never knew existed. Thanks so much for watching, and happy hunting out there.